That's Based with Caleb Salvador is a comedic informative production, meaning it covers serious topics in a humorous manner. Some of the opinions expressed are satirical hyperbole, some are not. Some of the content may not be suitable for all listeners. If you're easily offended, tune out now. We don't want pussy bleeding little bitches consuming our content. I have dementia and pooped my pants while visiting the Pope.
Welcome to this week's Big Show Saturday episode of That's Base. I'm your host, as always, Caleb Salvatore, reporting from somewhere underground. We're laughing our way through the end of days, and we're brought to you by Outlaw Streamers. Remember, we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Most of you just hang out for the Saturday show. I would really appreciate it if you also watch the Monday and Wednesday ones. Some of you do, and that's cool, and I appreciate that, and they're not going anywhere. But like 3/4 of you only hang out for this Saturday one. So if you could head on over, check out the Monday, we don't even do politics, news, nothing like that. We do a segment called Unsolicited Advice, which actually used to be on this show, but this show got way too big for that. So we had to make some cuts. We brought it to Monday, where I give people from the internet advice. Okay. Big shout out to our sponsors, though, over at Beach House Bar and Grill in Omaha, Nebraska, the official bar and grill of That's Base, just north of 103rd and 4th Street. Head on in there for dinner. No, I don't think they're open for lunch yet. Not yet. We'll let you know when they are, though. They have a great grill over there, some awesome food. It doesn't make you feel like shit like most bar food does. Cheap drinks, awesome shows. Beachhouse-omaha.com, including my show, April 6th. It's a Saturday, harmful content comedy, the Midwest's most offensive comedy show, 9 p.m., doors at 8:30 Central Standard Time. Again, that's beachhouse-omaha.com, just north of 103rd and 4th Street in Omaha, Nebraska. I have got my co-host with me, as always, Mia, the red face of white supremacy. How you doing today?
Good.
Good. And we want to be an outlet for those of you that might be a little stressed out about, or a little concerned, I guess, about other conservative news outlets that are maybe a little rude to their employees and their wives. I'm not going to name any names right now, but if you've got some friends that maybe listen to a show where a guy paraded himself around as this conservative Christian family man, and it turned out he was very, very cruel to his former employees, allegedly, and on video to his ex-wife, and they're looking for somebody new to listen to, maybe point them our way. That's all I'll say. That's all I can say there. Mia, I got a story I haven't told you yet because I wanted to tell it on the air.
Okay, I'm ready.
So, before we got a lot to get into this week, I'll do a little rundown in a second here. We've got P. Diddy going down for sex trafficking, getting raided for alleged sex trafficking. I have to clarify there. Steven Crowder has some more former employees come out. Candace Owens is out at the Daily Wire. The Utah women's basketball team caught some choice words in Idaho. We have got squatters galore in the United States. If you can't afford a home, like most of you listening probably can't because the president's intentionally destroying the economy, great news. It's really easy to just steal one in this country. We've got a $1.2 billion trillion spending bill passed. Excuse me. Didn't mean to misspeak there. $1.2 trillion spending bill passed. We go over some of the fun parts of that, and we got a whole lot more to talk about on this week's episode of That's Based. It's story time, though, before we get into anything. Story time. So this morning, I wanted a coffee, and I stopped at Dunkin', right? I looked oh my God. You were asleep. I stopped at Dunkin' at 6 o'clock in the morning. I stop at Dunkin'. There's one car in front of me. And I'm like, okay, cool. This isn't going to take long at all. And I sit there, and those are the famous last words at any drive-thru. Because I'm sure they're just busy as hell at 6:20 in the morning, right? So I sit there, and 10 minutes go by until the car in front of me finally moves. And I pull up to the window like, okay, maybe they had an emergency to tend to. I try to be easy on, especially on service employees, especially now when nobody wants to work, right? So I pull up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to be nice to them. You know, maybe there was just like something exploded in the kitchen and, you know, I don't want to be a dick, right? And then now they're going to get it moving. And mind you, a line has built up behind me, and it's one lane. So I don't have all-wheel drive on my Hyundai. I can't drive over the grass and leave, right? I'm committed to this Dunkin' Donuts until I get my coffee. So I pull up to the window, and as soon as I pull up to the drive-thru, I get the dreaded words, "Could you please wait just a moment?" And we all know that the guy in front of me got told the exact same thing, to wait just a moment, and that turned into 10. So about 5 minutes go by, which is my limit, before I say something. And I just look into the little box at the drive-thru and I go, "Hello?" Just like that. I don't scream it. I just say it in an annoyed tone. And then immediately they hop on, "Sorry about that, sir. Which tells me that they could have gotten to me a long time ago. Whatever the hell they were jerking themselves off in there, I don't know. But they weren't taking care of their customers. Mind you, there's no one in the lobby. No one in the lobby. So they take my order, which, by the way, is the most simple order imaginable. It's a coffee with a little bit of cream. I didn't have time to make it at home. It could not be easier to make my food, right? To make my coffee. So I pull around, and mind you, it's another 5 to 8 minutes went by of me waiting at this window, or me waiting at the speaker. So I pull around the side of the building, and the car that was in front of me is still there. And it was just such a demoralizing sight. So finally, they bring the guy his food after another 5 minutes of me waiting. I'm 25 minutes invested in this Dunkin' through no choice of my own. 5 minutes went by. If someone wasn't behind me, I would have backed out and been gone. It's not that important to me. So I'm committed at this point, and I mean, we're talking close to 25 minutes. So I pull up to the window, and the employee was a transgender woman at the window and goes, "So you had the caramel splash, blah, 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 some fruity shit." And I went, "No, I just had the coffee with a little bit of vanilla cream. That's all, please." I'm still trying to be polite. He goes, "Are you sure you didn't have the caramelicious splash?" I'm like, "Pretty sure, yeah." So he comes out, brings my, finally, another 7-8 minutes go by. So we're talking, I mean, we're going on 40 minutes for a coffee at this point. So brings me my coffee. It's the wrong size. I take a sip of it and I taste caramel. Immediately, I got this caramelicious diabetes bullshit that I didn't order, that I told them 3 times I didn't want. And he goes, "Okay, have a good day." And I'm like, "You know what? You ruined my morning. I'm going to ruin your fucking week." So I look at the trans employee and I go, "Thanks, you too, sir," and drive off. And I know that just wrecked that guy's entire week. Do not fuck with my coffee. You know what? He inconvenienced the shit out of me for half an hour in the morning and ruined my morning. And I'm probably not going to think about it again until after we're done with it. You know, again, after we've recorded this show now. But nonetheless, I went nuclear. You ruined my morning. I ruined your month, bitch. Don't fuck with me. All right. Well, on that note, let's get into the current state of the left, shall we? Mia, take us away. Oh, I guess the intro's gone.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
Never mind. All right, cool. All right, this week on the current state of the left, I think I finally found a drag show I want to go to. Go ahead and play this video for him. I think you're going to want to go too.
Happy World Down Syndrome Day, bitches!
Happy World Down Syndrome Day.
Down Syndrome Day!
Happy World Down Syndrome Day. Happy World Down Syndrome Day.
Happy World Down Syndrome Day!
Happy Freedom Day.
You think their drag routine is to System of a Down?
It's to how to save a life.
Mia's still sick, by the way. So if you guys hear, she's not as bad as she was for the Wednesday show, but if you guys hear coughing in the background, just know that's what it was. I want to go to that show. If that drag show comes to town here, we're going. We're not even going to like interview people on the streets. I'm going to be front row with that bitch. I don't care what the price is to get a front row seat. I will be front row at the Down Syndrome drag show. Next up, this is a singer who's gone viral on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it lately. Her name is Shannon Blake, and I'm going to warn you, this is some of the worst music I've ever heard. Nonetheless, we're going to play it for you anyway.
I've been chilling in the mountains of Peru, drinking ayahuasca with the shaman stew. Cup of champagne to shift the mood. I've been learning about myself, finding out my truth. I've been healing my soul, tried the best medicine. I've been learning shit from the aliens, like how we're all connected to the pyramids, and how we used to use them for time traveling. Now I'm astral projecting, remembering how to navigate the ether. Sound heals didgeridoo, singing bowls every lyric. Medicinal truth, sound transforms DNA. My mind's making things move. Whoa. Kidney infection, I healed that too. I've been doing things your brain can't compute. They'll say it's magic, but you could do it too. Just open up your heart and let it channel through.
Yep, that's Shannon Blake. So we all know her dad has to work for like a war profiteer or something like that, right? There's a lot to unpack there. You know, if someone put a gun to my head and said, hey, find a video that describes the city of Denver, I think that would probably be it. You probably found it right there. Have I ever mentioned on this show, Mia, that I hate the city of Denver?
Multiple times.
And ISIS's greatest terror attack against the United States is not bombing Denver and making us live next door to it. Can't stand it. Horrible place. I love how she said she healed her kidney infection with her mind. That's my favorite part of that song. Did you catch that?
Mm-hmm.
She healed a kidney infection with her mind. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give official medical advice, but if you have a kidney infection, please don't try to heal it with your mind. My mom had a kidney infection that she didn't know was a kidney infection. She didn't try to heal it with her mind, but she might as well have, because what she did for a long time, which was absolutely nothing and just sitting there and waiting for it to go septic, would be just as effective as trying to treat it with your mind. Well, it's true. She's alive. She lived. It was a tough comeback, but she's fine. She's probably listening to somebody get a text message. Looking at him.
Absolutely nothing.
Just as effective as trying to heal it with your mind, I gotta say. All right, this is the last up for Current State of the Left here. This is an individual on the streets saw some white people, and he decided to do what you do when you see white people, which is harass them for being white, while calling them colonizers and oppressors and whatever. But check out his outfit while he does it.
We're good. We're good. Don't
I should spit on you.
Don't spit on. Don't spit on. Don't spit on.
Don't you tell me to fuck off.
He was joking. He was joking.
I hate your people.
He was. Don't.
I hate you.
Right.
I hate you with all my heart.
Okay.
I hate you.
Okay.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
Why are you telling me to fuck off?
Fuck you.
Why are you telling me to fuck off?
We're just sitting here.
We're just minding our own business. You came up to us. All right. Have a good night.
See you in hell.
Okay.
You will be going to hell. I promise you that.
Okay.
Your Jesus will not save you.
Okay.
He will not save you because he doesn't exist. Jesus is black.
Okay.
Is this your Uber?
Does he not exist, or is he black?
No,
it's not. Okay.
Fuck you white people.
Wait.
I hate you with all my heart.
You're being nice tonight. Have a good night.
Lucifer will destroy you. he will suffer you.
Yeah, we're close. We're close. Okay.
Prepare for the end.
It was like a haunted house.
I feel like that went well.
So is Jesus not real or is he black? Because he said both in about 5 seconds there. You know, I believe that Jesus was black. I really do. It makes sense why his father put him on earth and then abandoned him. It makes sense that Jesus is black. Statistically speaking, that's the most likely there. No, I mean, if you guys were listening on audio, what would you call, was that a mask? Was it makeup? It was some type of demon outfit.
It looked like stage, like the FX stage makeup. Like it looks like he put that on.
How much you want to bet he just walks around like that all the time because he's fucking nuts?
It looks like he does, yeah. He probably, I mean, all that work to put it on, he probably does.
He's probably proud of it, yeah. I mean, here's my thing, dude. You come up to me dressed like that, screaming in my face, and like those guys had their wives there. If I'm with my friends, we're going to beat the shit out of you. Like all of us. We're just going to gang up on you and beat the hell out of you. If I'm by myself or just with my wife, I'm probably going to pull my gun on you. Like, that's a very, very, I mean, you're pushing the line. There's way too many crazy people acting way too crazy. And it's just not worth it to take the chance that they're not going to get violent with you. Because I value my life more than the guy dressed up like a goat's. I know that's crazy to a lot of people. Maybe I'm weird. But, yeah, it's all.
You idiots!
What? Who's an idiot?
The guy.
Oh, the guy in the
going up to people.
The guy in the mask?
Yeah, the guy. No, I don't think it's a mask.
Or FX makeup, whatever.
He's the idiot.
Good way to get killed. Great. Just don't harass people. How about that? How about leave people alone? Have people ever considered that? Don't terrorize people? That's wild. All right, it's time for our lead topic, and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed about our lead topic because our lead topic was supposed to be me, well, you know, because we had that bridge collapse in Maryland, which we talked about a little bit on the Wednesday show. Our lead topic this week was supposed to be me calling up psychics in Baltimore and asking them why they didn't see that bridge collapse coming. But it turns out Maryland is a two-party state, which means you have to have the consent of both parties to record a phone call or record something in private. Are you upset about that?
Yes.
Do you think maybe there's some here in town we could call?
Yeah.
Should we look up? We need to look up ones that are open right now. It's a weird time for them to be open. Looks like they're all closed. Yeah. Yeah, they all open at like noon. And close at like
butt plug.
8 or 9. Yeah, there's no psychics. No psychics open right now.
There's
well.
no 24/7 psychics.
I wonder if there's a psychic hotline. Maybe we'll do that for another segment. Okay. All right, here we go for our lead topic. P. Diddy got his house raided. P. Diddy run the city, no question, as his song Victory says. P. Diddy got his house raided by the feds for alleged, and we gotta stress the word alleged in this segment, alleged human trafficking last week. Now, we got a video here from his neighbors. Do you want to go ahead and play the video of P. Diddy's neighbors when they got confronted by reporters? They had some choice words for Mr. Puffy.
Yeah, tell him stop bringing all the minors over here late at night. I live right next to him. He do too much. It be like buses, like big ass buses. You just see all type of shit hop out. Especially at nighttime, like around 3 o'clock in the morning. It gets wild. I'm his neighbor. When my basketball go over there, I just let it be because I don't want to knock on the door.
Now, that may be true, and those guys may very well just be being jackasses because they see a news story and they want to be a part of it. I'm 50-50 on it. My whole thing is, if you knew that was happening, why didn't you tell anyone? Why did you just let that go? I mean, human trafficking, that you're not talking about the guy selling weed next door. That's pretty serious shit. So, P. Diddy, they're alleging child sex trafficking, human trafficking. They haven't been really clear yet. But this can get as dark as you want it to pretty quickly with P. Diddy when you look into a lot of what this guy's done. Do you know what P. Diddy's famous for?
Singing?
Besides his music. You know, like his philanthropy. You know what he's known for? He's known for adopting poor kids off the streets and bringing them to live with him. So if this guy's a human, like, we can take this to a really, really dark place. Unfortunately, this is the tip of the iceberg for this entertainment, sex trafficking, being creepy to kids thing. The floodgates are going to open in 2024. They are. The floodgates are going to open this year. We've already seen the Nickelodeon thing, and we've just barely scratched the surface of that, I feel like. I feel like there's way more than that HBO documentary, because they already are releasing a 5th episode. They only plan to do 4. They're doing a 5th exclusive episode with Drake Bell, an interview about everything that happened to him. So we're going to find out a lot of stuff about the entertainment industry that's going to make Harvey Weinstein look like a birthday party. That's my prediction for the rest of the year. And, you know, David Terrell Green, do you know what David Terrell Green said on the New Year's show when we had him on? We were asking people for predictions. He said his prediction is somebody major, probably P. Diddy, goes down for sex trafficking. And P. Diddy, so what does David know? Or is he the psychic we should be calling, asking why he didn't know?
I think we should be calling David.
I was trying to get him on. He had a gig, so he couldn't make the show today. But we'll get him on soon and we'll talk about it. But, I mean, how much more proof do you guys need? I don't know if he did this. I mean, everyone's innocent until proven guilty. But if you look at the videos, they had cops in riot gear. I'm talking AR-15s, bulletproof vests, ready to raid this guy's house. And what did he do? He fled to the Caribbean. Because innocent men flee the country all the time. And here's the thing, though. That jet had been getting prepped since yesterday, his private jet. So he got tipped off. Now, he did come back to the country, in fairness to him, landed in Florida, said he's cooperating with the authorities. Nonetheless, this whole thing just reeks. So he just took a trip down to the Caribbean and came back.
Maybe he was just planning a vacation.
Yeah, the day before he got raided by the feds.
Well, maybe he didn't know he was getting raided, and so he was planning a fun vacation, and then he found out he got raided, so he came back.
Or he was going to dump some evidence. There's that, too. There could also be that. What?
Maybe he was just going on a fun vacation.
So he has a net worth of $1 billion. Did you know that? He's a billionaire. Diddy is, as of 2022. Yeah. I don't know if he's lost some money in the stock market lately, but yeah, since then. But yeah, it says $1 billion net worth as of 2020. I mean, the guy's a mogul. He really is. Here's a video of him with Justin Bieber from... Oh, you got to hit him with the sound effect. Come on. Justin Bieber! Here's a video of him with Justin Bieber from when Bieber wasn't even old enough to drive. And back then you watch it and you don't think anything of it. But now it's kind of like, go ahead, play it for him.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
So at the surface, at the time, probably didn't seem like much at all, but now. I don't know. What do you think? Is that a little eerie?
I don't know. The look on Justin Bieber's face looked kind of weird.
here's my thing. Whether that...
Like, he just looked uncomfortable.
Yeah, no, for sure. Whether that quote-unquote hangout was anything more than a hangout, I'm going to make this clear. It is completely inappropriate for a grown man to be spending a weekend with a 15-year-old boy that he's not related to. It's not your son, your grandson, or your nephew. It is or your brother. It is completely inappropriate for him to be spending a weekend with him. That alone should raise a red flag. I know these Hollywood folks are a little bit weird, but everyone should be able to someone involved should be able to take a look at that and stop it from happening. What are you going to say?
No, yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, nothing may have happened on...
But that's how the grooming starts.
Yeah.
They don't go straight for the gold, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not appropriate for him to be spending a weekend alone with just 14, 15, however old he was at the time.
Right.
Without his parents. I mean, I don't think his mom gave a shit about anything because she was a single mom just looking for money.
Right.
Justin Bieber's mom was. So I just think that's very inappropriate. And he just looked very nervous. So it's
right.
I don't know. That just, I don't know, that gave me the creeps.
Just creeps, right?
Yeah,
the creeps, right?
Yeah.
It's and then when you learn more about P. Diddy, and there have been rumors about Diddy for a long time about him being gay, which I that's fine. I don't care, but it would be weird, especially now, to cover up your sexuality unless there's a little bit more going on down there. About him raping people, about the there have been rumors for a long time about P. Diddy, and finally you're starting to see something or a little bit of this come to fruition here. The whole thing is just it's such a creepy thing. But yeah, so I think this is only the beginning. I think you're going to see a lot more folks in Hollywood get exposed for human trafficking, for sexual abuse going into 2024, because these people are truly, I mean, we talk about demons taking over this country. We talked in the last show with the Nickelodeon thing about how these people, there wasn't a soul that went into their body when they were born. It was a demon from hell, or they got possessed at some point. But these people truly are just pure evil. They are just pure evil. And it's rotten to the core. A lot of these people in Hollywood are. And not all of them. Again, there are some good people in Hollywood. Vince Vaughn. He is.
Why is he always your go-to?
Okay, because if you were like, okay, Caleb, you've got an emergency that only you can attend to. You need to leave your kids with someone in Hollywood to watch. Vince Vaughn is my go-to. I would leave them with Vince Vaughn to watch. I just feel like I could, him or Kevin James. I feel like I could trust one of them. Maybe it's because they've just played so many sitcom dads. Or Tim Allen, maybe.
He's like a perv, apparently.
Not with kids.
Oh.
No, he's just a regular perv.
I just think it's funny your go-to is always Vince
Vaughn is the most like average guy. He's the most average guy Hollywood star out there, though.
I'd probably say Adam Sandler, just because he's like...
He's pretty, yeah, those two have probably got to be 1A and 1B. Yeah, both of them are. If you look at like Adam Sandler still dresses like from Walmart and stuff. But there are good people in Hollywood, but so many of them are just rotted to their core. And when you look at these Hollywood liberals, do you think it's a coincidence that the people who are trafficking these kids through these through Hollywood, do you think it's any coincidence that they're the same ones pushing the child drag shit and the same ones? Of course not, because it's about grooming and destroying the family unit. The people doing the trafficking behind the scenes, these Hollywood West Coast liberals, are the ones that are letting it happen, are such big proponents of the child drag shit because it's about destroying the family unit. Because kids from broken homes are so much easier to take advantage of. Like there's been interviews with convicted child molesters, and they say, what did you look for in a victim? And the guy will go, I would look for someone that came from a broken home, ideally without a religious background or a father. There's a reason they're trying to do two things: push religion out of the home and push the father out of the home, because then it's easier to get to your kids, because that's what communists do. They take everything they touch and turn it to shit. And they burn it to the ground. They separate, they divide and conquer. That's what communists do. And this child trafficking this human trafficking you're seeing through Hollywood is just another example of that. Oh, rant time. Who do you think the next one that's going down is? Who's the next celebrity? Let's just let's defame someone right now.
The next one?
Our opinion. We don't have proof of this. Who's the next one to go down?
Ludacris.
You think?
I don't know. He's just in my mind because I have Baby by Justin Bieber stuck in my head.
I don't think it's going to be Ludacris. I don't think Ludacris is.
He's just in my, like I said, he was just in my mind because I have Baby stuck in my head.
Well, here's the thing is whoever is next.
Matthew McConaughey.
Well, he was talking about running for governor of Texas.
So then maybe some stuff would come out about him.
Well, here's the thing. Whoever it is, and it could be Hollywood, it could be someone in business, someone in politics, whoever the next domino to fall is, depends entirely on who has outlived their usefulness. Right? That's what happened with Epstein. That's what happened with Weinstein. Presumably, that's what happened with Diddy here. So if the regime and the establishment can still get some good use out of you, they're not going to take you down. But if they're done, they'll drop another breadcrumb so we can all focus on that and ignore their high crimes, right? Did you really think that this human trafficking thing to powerful people stopped at Jeffrey Epstein? No. There's 1,000 other Jeffrey Epsteins out there, and not all of them are doing it on as large of a scale with as high profile of clients, but there are 1,000 Jeffrey Epsteins in this country. We just got the tip of the iceberg, man. It's just starting to crown.
Owen Wilson.
Yep, that's who it's going to be. So politics had their time to have a human trafficking bust with Epstein. Hollywood is right now. Like I said, the floodgates are going to open. You're going to see a few major players go down, or you'll see some people go away quietly. That's something you got to look out for, too. If you see some people that were big names just start to fade away, know they're probably being blackmailed. What's next will probably be business. So you'll probably see some type of charity. And that's going to get real sickening. There's a lot of what ifs we could play there. There's a lot of what ifs we could do with charities. The chickens are coming to roost, though. All the institutions that the communists have infiltrated, because that's what these sick, parasitic demons do. All of them. I mean, we could get the next bust. It could come through CPS, the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, what Bill Gates is doing down in Africa, politicians, intelligence agencies, the porn industry, what's going on down at the border, right? I mean, the possibility. The answer to all, it's probably yes for all of those. It's just a matter of when are we going to find that. Oh, you didn't know about CPS? CPS workers go down all the time. That's the biggest human trafficking ring in the world is CPS. Scum. Again, a good concept because someone should protect children that's been hijacked by communists and pedophiles. So the next domino to fall, whether it's Gates, when we don't have proof on anyone, I want to make that clear. Whether it's Gates, the only proof we have on Gates, quote unquote proof, is that video where she asked him about his Epstein connections and he about crawled out of his skin. Where that reporter asked him that. I've never seen someone more uncomfortable in an interview than he was there. I mean, you could tell he did not want to be there. Not like what Dennis told us in Roswell about the picture of that guy that didn't want to be there, and we went out and looked at it, and it was just a guy smiling.
Oh, yeah.
You could tell he doesn't want to be there. Just a guy, Dennis. But there's a lot of possibilities with what it could be. So like I said, the next domino is entirely contingent upon who's outlived their usefulness, and who, more importantly, who doesn't have mutually assured destruction. So these intelligence agencies that are pulling the strings back there, and the pharmaceutical companies and the mainstream media and the business moguls that are pulling the strings, who doesn't have something on them that could also take them down? Because that's what they're doing. They're leaving little breadcrumbs and they're throwing out their patsies. They've known about this crap for a long time. Whenever someone, it's always the case. Whenever someone goes down, Epstein, you always hear, well, we knew for 25 years that guy was doing something wrong. We all just knew. Everyone in the business and political community just knew you don't go to Jeff's Island because there's little girls there. And you didn't think to tell anyone. Why? Does he have something on you? Because he probably does. Same thing with Weinstein. Oh, we all knew he was doing it. We all knew he was abusing those women, and nobody came forward. No one said anything. This guy did this for how long? And no one's... I mean, Hollywood is a filthy, disgusting city. You're going to talk about... That's what they do out there, is they lure these typically young girls down there, but boys too. They'll lure them out there with the promise of... It's textbook trafficking. It's textbook trafficking, but... It's got the glitz and glam of Hollywood next to it, so nobody says anything. So they'll lure these young girls out there, and they'll promise them, hey, you're going to be an actress, you're going to do this and that. And then, hey, you want that role? You got to sleep your way to the top. You got to sleep with Mr. XYZ producer if you want to get that role. So she'll sleep with the producer, and she'll get a minor role as waitress number 2 in a sitcom, and that'll get her, she'll think that's going to be her big break, and she's going to get all these acting gigs now, and she doesn't realize the agent's pimping her out to all these different studios because he's getting the kickbacks, and she's got to sleep with all these people, and then before you know it, she's working in porn and as an escort, and hooked on drugs, because she's been completely ran through and destroyed by Hollywood. That's how it works over there. That's what these people are not human, guys. I'm not exaggerating. I know I talk in hyperbole sometimes. These people, there's something about them that is not of this world. Sorry, I'm on creatine right now, so I'm having to drink a lot of water. So otherwise I get dehydrated really quickly. Woke up in the middle of the night just dying of thirst last night. That also might explain why I'm so on edge today. There's a video of Cat Williams. Cat Williams said a lot of people are going to get exposed looking at you, Diddy, on the Shannon Sharp interview. Now that guy's in danger because that guy said a lot of stuff that's come true. He needs to watch his back. And that's the thing, is if you do know about this kind of stuff, if you do stumble upon it, or you do find this stuff out, you better pray to God that you already have a platform that you can get as loud as humanly possible about it on. Otherwise, they're just going to kill you. Because it's just easier to tie up the loose ends. They don't value human life because they're not humans themselves. So that's what they do. And that's why Hollywood... Sorry, losing my voice. What were you gonna hit something? Oh. So keep your eyes peeled, because something's coming from Hollywood. Something big is gonna come. This Diddy thing ain't the end. We should know this by now. There's always a bigger fish. There's always more than one fish. So this ain't the end of it. I mean, there's gonna be more stuff that comes out. I don't know who it is. No, it's not Owen Wilson.
I think it's Owen
Did Marley and Me take that much of a toll on him? His life just went to shit?
Yeah.
But we're going to find... that's my prediction, is we're going to find some bombshells out pretty quickly. And it'll be they'll control the release of the information. Again, this will be a patsy that they're throwing under the bus. Anyway, that's all we got for our lead topic. Stay tuned for Store Brand TMZ trending this week. We got all kinds of good stuff coming up. All right. Before we get into anything else, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at Blood of Tyrants Wines. Head on over to www.drinkbloodofTyrants.com. Use the promo code BASED, like the title of the show. Going to save you 10% off at the checkout. Again, that's BASED at the checkout, like the title of the show. On either their Red Merlot Blood of Tyrants wine, their White Tears of Tyrants wine, or their Liquid Freedom energy drink. The energy drink comes with 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and 0 fucks given. Again, drinkbloodofTyrants.com. Use the promo code BASED, BASED, like the title of the show at the checkout. Going to save you 10%. All right, now it's time for store brand TMZ.
Justin Bieber!
Poor Justin. He's had a rough week. Rough week, getting all those bad memories brought back. Okay, all right, here we go. This first one here, we have got a high school football player has committed to the University of Southern California. Now, you're like, well, why is this news? This happens all the time. Well, Gus Cordova, he's a defensive lineman, high school class of 2025 from Austin, Texas. He was allegedly involved in a quote-unquote practical joke on one of his teammates. Mia, do you have any idea what his practical joke might have been? It was a locker room prank.
Did he kiss him?
No, he didn't kiss him. He didn't hide his gear and make him walk out naked. Nothing like that.
Did he throw him in a locker?
No, close. So they had a teammate that was allergic to peanuts, and they decided to allegedly smear peanuts all over his locker. Yeah, and he lived. He's okay. And all the other schools that he had offers from said, you know what? I think we're good. Probably not going to offer you a scholarship. I think we're going to rescind that. But the University of Spoiled Children, Southern California, decided that that wasn't a deal, that attempted murder was not a deal breaker for them. So good for USC. What we got another video down there for TMZ? Oh yeah, this is Andrew Tate released his brand new workout supplement. Go ahead and check this out. It's the best commercial ever.
Fire blood makes your piss yellow. Like a man. Manly yellow piss. None of that clear water, gay little girl piss. Man's piss. And the reason for that is very simple. We have all of the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids the body can need in one convenient scoop of fire blood. And like a man, we have made it excessive. Are you the kind of person who's going to take a supplement which tastes disgusting with no flavoring whatsoever? Or are you going to be the kind of man who takes a supplement that tastes like cookie crumble and your pee's not even yellow because there's only a little bit of vitamins in it? Oh, but I've only got my daily recommended allocation of vitamin B12. I'm scared I might pee out too many vitamins. Greta Thunberg will get mad at me for being wasteful. I don't want Greta to come into the gym and beat me up. Fucking gay.
You want to talk about marketing? I think that's how we're going to start advertising Blood of Tyrants now. He said he had another ad. He said you can call him and order it at 1-800-DON'T-BE-GAY. Okay, this is next up. This is from the Spelling Bee. And man, let me tell you, boy, did they put this kid in a tough spot on the Spelling Bee. I wouldn't have been able to hold my laughter. Go ahead, play it.
Negus.
Negus. What is the language of origin?
Ethiopian to Amharic.
What is the definition?
A king. It's used as a title of the sovereign of Ethiopia. Negus.
Negus. Could you use it in a sentence?
The Negus ruled Ethiopia until the coup of 1974.
Negus. Negus.
Andrew, could you say the word loudly for the judges?
Negus.
One more time?
Negus.
Negus.
Negus. Negus. Negus. Negus.
How did he maintain his composure there? I wouldn't have been able to. I laugh. I have a bad habit of laughing at inappropriate times and shit like that. I wouldn't have been able to contain myself. Can you use it? I would have been fired from the spelling bee as a judge. Because why is there a judge for the spelling bee? Also, side note, it's not American Idol. You either spelled it right or you didn't. Can't the judge be a smartphone? I mean, this is 2024. But no, if I were the judge, they would have been like, "Can you use it in a sentence?" And I would have went, "Yeah, the Negus stole my bike last week." Origin, country of origin to 3-6 Mafia. Thank you. Shit, man. Okay, next up, 7-Eleven has got a new flavor of water. Mia, pull up the picture of 7-Eleven's new water flavor there. Hot dog sparkling water. You know who this is great news for? They finally did it. Play the video right underneath it. Great news for our friends over at Limp Bizkit. All right, that's enough. That's right. That's right. They've got the hot dog flavored sparkling water. I don't know if that's a brand merchandising deal they did with Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit, obviously the greatest band of all time, had a album, their best album in my opinion, called The Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water. It's from like the late 90s, early 2000s. And it's just great to finally see greatness get recognized. I mean, they have sandwiches named after Elvis. They've got all the legends have something, and it's great to finally see Limp Bizkit get theirs. I would put Limp Bizkit above Elvis, wouldn't you? Would you, Mia? Would you rank Limp Bizkit above Elvis?
No comment.
What about Taylor Swift? Would you put Limp Bizkit up there in the conversation with Taylor Swift? Now, before you answer, has Taylor Swift ever had crowds rip pieces of the fence out of the venue and use it to crowd surf at her shows?
I think that was more of the whole situation going on.
But they caused it. So you dodged my question there.
No, she has never had that happen at one of her concerts, but I think there was also, when that happened, the contributing factor of just everything else going on at the festival.
Oh.
So, but no, that has never happened
if
at
Taylor
her
Swift
concert.
would have went out there in place of Fred Durst, that would not have happened. The audience would have calmed down.
No, because she would have been riling them up. He riled them up is the problem.
We're talking about Woodstock 99. He did no such thing. He did what needed to be done. He was on brand and entertaining.
The problem is the crowd
fans.
was already going crazy.
He was entertaining.
And he just
his
riled
fans.
them up even more.
He was doing what he needed to do.
She wouldn't have done that.
All right, well, that's been store brand TMZ. So we come to the conclusion on this show, if nothing else, that Fred Durst is twice the entertainer that Taylor Swift will ever be.
Yep.
More successful, more money, bigger crowds at his shows.
Yep.
Maybe she'll be able to open for him on tour.
Maybe she'd have to ask.
You know who
Really
Taylor
nice.
could give a job to? Montoya.
I was just gonna say
he needs a job. Maybe she needs like a touring guitarist, or he can play the tambourine. Maybe Taylor can bring Montoya on, and he can quit fucking harassing me at 3:00 in the morning on Facebook.
He just needs to start harassing her so that way he can get a job.
Yeah, man. Why don't you, Jonathan Montoya, former guitar player for Saliva, randomly leaves nasty remarks on my Facebook at 3:00 in the morning. It's a running joke on the show for those of you that are new to the show. I don't know why it's happening, but we're trying to find John a job. That's a good point. Maybe he should spend that time and energy tweeting at musicians and seeing if they'll give him a job in their band rather than coming after me.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a good use of his time. But maybe Taylor can give him a shot.
Maybe.
I don't think that spitting beer on the crowd, which is what his signature was in Saliva, is something she would appreciate at her shows. Anyway, that's been Store Brand TMZ. Say a prayer for Montoya. And it's time for our favorite segment of the week. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Dementia Awareness.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him...
You must be the one, and I'm so...
All right. Dementia Awareness. Side note. We give Montoya a lot of shit. Do you think he would want to come on the show?
You should ask him.
Should I invite him and be like, hey, man, why don't you just come on here and we can hash things out? Should I do that?
Yeah.
We'd have to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
You should tell him to make a Cameo account.
So he can make $17?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd make more money on that. How big of a fucking loser do you have to be to hire me or him? That's the question. It's hilarious. My mom texted me after the last show, and she was like, you know, you've made it when washed up rock stars are getting loaded in the middle of the night and start harassing you. I'm like, that's appreciate it. I don't know if I've made it, but all right. This week in Dementia Awareness, we have got our buddy Joe Biden. Obviously, we had the Baltimore bridge collapse last week, and Biden, of course, had to think back on it with all of his memories of the bridge. Go ahead, play it.
At about 1:30, container ship struck the Francis Scott Key Bridge, which I've been over many, many times commuting from the state of Delaware either on a train or by car.
So here's the problem. You can't go over that bridge with a train. There's no train tracks that cross that bridge, so he just made it up again. Is he making this shit up on purpose, or does he actually believe it? What do you think? I can't figure it out.
I think he actually believes it.
I think, yeah, because why would you lie about going across it on a train? He doesn't remember. Well, we have a bonus part of Dementia Awareness for you this week. His press secretary, Corinne Jean-Pierre, went on a radio show in D.C., and man, oh man, did she not like the question they asked her. Go ahead.
When I told a number of people that I was talking to you today, it was interesting, though. They all said, would you please just ask her, does the president have dementia? And so before I move on from that, does he?
Mark, I can't even believe you're asking me this question. That is an incredibly offensive question to ask.
But you know people ask it.
Wait, no. You're taking us down this rabbit hole. Let me be very clear about this. For the past several years, the president's physician has laid out in a comprehensive way the president's health. This is a president, if you watch him every day, if you really pay attention to his record and what he has done, you will see exactly how focused he's been on the American people, how historic his actions has been. And so I'm not even going to truly, really, take the premise of your question. I think it is incredibly insulting, and so we can move on to the next question.
Gas prices and grocery prices, then big topics here in North Carolina. How does Mr. Biden win votes when people don't have as much disposable income?
Look, the president understands. He grew up in a middle-class family, working-class family in Scranton, Pennsylvania. He gets it. He understands how difficult it is for Americans who are sitting around their kitchen table every month trying to figure out what they're going to pay for. You have to remember when the president walked into this administration, there were multiple crises happening. There was COVID. There was the economy was in the tailspin because of the last administration, because of what the President Trump left us with. Now you're asking me about gas prices. The president took action on gas prices. Let's not forget Russia's invasion on Ukraine skyrocketed prices of gas. And because the president took action, we are in a different place than we were a year ago on gas prices. Eggs, milk, seafood products, all the important groceries, those costs have gone down because of what this president has been able to do. And with that, thank you so much, Mark. Have an amazing, amazing day.
Wow. Wow. She hung up. Wow. I mean, Mark, you listen, I am nominating you to get a press corps badge, and you need to go to the White House. I'm sorry, but you asked four incredibly.
First off, did she say he's been focused? He hasn't been focused on anything in 6 years. Focused. Are you kidding me? Do you see how quickly she hung up the phone? Did not give them a chance to ask her another. It's a totally different. These people talk a big game when they're in control of the room. When she's up there on her little press stand and can call on people and snap at them, and she's been given all these talking points, she's golden, right? But the second someone asks, the second she has to go off the script or into someone else's domain, all of a sudden they shit down their legs. All of them in this administration do. Because they know that they can't, it's a rope of sand. It's a house of cards. They can't defend anything. All their talking points fall apart the second you ask a follow-up question, and that's why she didn't give him the time to do it. Everything she said on there was a lie. We covered it on the show extensively. I'm not going to break it all down because that'd be redundant at this point. Everything she said on that call was a lie, and you all know it because you all listen to the show. If you don't normally listen, go back. Get the other episodes. Remember, I make $1 for every episode you watch. Not really. We'd be very rich if that was the case. No. More like a couple cents for every click. What? What's that look for?
I was going to say, are you holding out on me?
No. We wouldn't be very rich, but we'd be doing okay. So, also, her saying that his physician cleared him, like that means anything, that the White House patsy doctor can come out and clear anybody of anything. Again, I plan to vote for Trump this year, right? I voted for him in 2020. Trump's physician came out and said he was in peak physical condition all 4 years as well. You can pretty much get the White House doctor to say whatever you want with the right amount of coercion. I mean, listen, obviously Trump's a lot better in terms of mental fitness than Biden. Kid Rock actually had a great point when he was on Rogan. He said, you know, everyone's talking about Trump being crazy and old too, but like, okay, but say you're having a heart attack. There's only two people that can drive you to the hospital. It's Trump or Biden. Who would you rather it be? Of course, Trump, right?
You'd have to make a McDonald's stop.
Yeah,
first.
that's true. Maybe you can get an Uber Eats to the hospital, you know. But yeah, well, no, you're not going to find any questions from me that Trump's in better mental health than Biden. Let's be real. Guy's not exactly the picture of physical health. And that's okay. No, who really is? And I'm not. Who is? But my doctor would not rate me in peak physical condition if I went in and got looked at. He wouldn't. What?
I was thinking about the doctor rating Trump peak physical condition.
Your BMI is 20? Actually, sir, you need to gain weight. About 5 pounds you could stand to gain.
Here's some Big Macs.
Here's a Big Mac, yeah.
Eat some of these.
Yep, exactly. All right, that has been Dementia Awareness for the week. Stay tuned. We got a ton of stuff to get into for trending this week. And first up in trending this week, I want to get this out of the way quickly because everyone's been talking about it and we just need to address it. I don't want to dig too deeply into it, but let's talk about Steven Crowder for a little bit. So Steven Crowder, one of his employees, his former employees, a producer named Jared Monroe, posted a video talking about how Steven had allegedly been bullying him and terrorizing him through the legal system. They made him sign a non-compete clause and are basically just bullying him out of any potential employment for quitting and trying to push around him and his pregnant wife and blah, 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 blah. I don't know the extent of what's true and what's not. What I will say is there's more often than not, in my experience, where there is smoke, there is fire. I have heard stories just like this one, just like the ones all of you have heard from the internet, right? From people like Sven Computer and Owen Benjamin and Dave Landau and now Jared Monroe and people like that. You've all heard, I've heard all these same stories too. That's a lot of people saying a lot of similar stuff from a lot of different places. But I've also heard stories from people that know Crowder and say, yeah, I believe this. So, no, I've never met the guy myself. Probably never will now. But I know people that know him. And I've heard pretty similar stories. Again, I don't have a smoking gun proof. I don't know what the case is. Remember, we played a video a couple months ago of him chewing out his ex-wife. It was hidden ring cam footage. Well, Crowder's team responded this week, and they said that they're going to sue Jared Monroe for defamation. And they claimed that all of these people that have come out against him have conspired with his ex-wife. Now, is that possible? Sure. I guess it's possible. But let's put our critical thinking caps on for a second, and let's ask ourselves, what's more likely? That all of these people got together with Crowder's ex-wife and conspired with her? Or that maybe he's just a shitty boss and kind of a shitty husband? I don't know. I wish I wasn't even talking about this. It feels gross talking about people's marriages, but it's trending this week, and this is what's trending. So we have to talk. Mia's pointing a gun at me off camera, says I have to talk about it. This is an opposite Crowder situation here. So Crowder's team came out. Crowder wasn't even on the video. It was one of his co-hosts did it. And they came out and they claimed that text messages showing the communication between Crowder's ex-wife and this Jared Monroe character were proof it was a smoking gun that they were conspiring and lying. Well, it wasn't really proof that they were conspiring and lying. They've claimed that they're doing this to extort as much money as possible out of him, even though they claim that Crowder has offered her more money than he's ever made in his entire life. I don't know how that's worked, but here's what they don't mention. Steven Crowder's going for full custody of his children. Full custody of his children. Mother gets not even weekends and holidays. So maybe we could argue that all the money in the world might not be worth it to her if she doesn't ever get to see her children again. So they're trying to paint her as this money-grubbing succubus, when in reality, I mean, yeah, you could offer me $500 billion. But if it meant I didn't get to see my kids again, yeah, of course not.
What if your kid's a loser?
How big of a loser are we talking about?
Like, bullied every single day, not cool, non-binary.
I can make another one.
Okay.
Yeah. Take him. No, if he's non-binary, you can have him for $15 and a Big Mac. I don't give a shit. But no, maybe she just doesn't want to lose her kids. I think that's pretty common amongst most mothers. I don't think it has anything to do with the money. And again, it just feels so... You want to know why I'm inclined to believe his wife, and you know it's got to be a lot of proof. It's got to be something strong for me to believe a woman at all, right? You know why I'm more inclined to believe his wife here? And we've talked about this before, off camera. That ring camera footage, right? And he claims it's doctored. I don't know what the hell that even means. I don't know how you doctor ring camera footage, but I'm sure you can. The thing that sticks out to me there, it wasn't him yelling at her to go walk the dogs while she's 9 months pregnant and they have two 85-pound beast dogs. It wasn't that. It wasn't him throwing a temper tantrum about why he can't do anything. It wasn't anything like that. It wasn't him telling her to give the dogs medicine, even though that medicine's toxic to pregnant women and the babies. It wasn't anything like that. The thing that stuck out to me the most from that video was the fact that he mentioned they only had one car. You're worth how many millions of dollars, and you have one car? That is a 100% control thing. I'm not saying you got to buy an E-Class or a Ferrari. How about a Hyundai? How about a Nissan? a Ford Fusion, just so she can get somewhere and not be dependent on you not needing the car to go where she needs to be. That's a control thing, in my opinion.
I'd be fine with one car.
But you have a car.
That's true.
I don't want you to not have a car. Because if I'm not home, I don't know what's going to happen. That you may need a car to get somewhere, and I don't want you dependent on taking an Uber or having to have a friend come pick you up or whatever. I don't want you to not have a car. That's the difference. I want you to be able to go somewhere. I mean, your car's paid off. It's not like it costs. And I promise you guys, even though I make $1 a click every time you guys hate listen to our show.
$5.
Yep. We are worth far less money than Steven Crowder. And we managed to get by with 2 cars. We somehow managed to find it in our budget to put together to have 2 cars. One of them's paid off, and it's not a piece of shit either. Mia's car's paid off. Can you believe that Mia has paid her car off?
All by myself.
She did.
Too.
She did. Well,
my proudest accomplishment. No, I did all by myself.
Oh, I thought it was the stimulus helped.
Yeah, but it was my
it was your money still.
It wasn't my parents.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Mia's paid her car off. So that's all I got on the Crowder thing. Anyway, next up, let's keep on this influencer drama thing here. So Candace Owens was fired from the Daily Wire. The Daily Wire is a conservative talk show platform who previously claimed that they champion free speech over and over and over and over again. Well, Candace Owens has been a major critic of Israel. Ben Shapiro, one of the founders who claims he has nothing to do with the hiring process, is Jewish and is a big supporter of Israel. For the longest time, they said, hey, we're just going to let bygones be bygones. And, Ben was very critical. He made public threats to fire her and all that stuff. But the company, Jeremy Boring, the president, for the longest time said, hey, we're going to let bygones be bygones, and we're just going to, you guys can have different opinions. We want to be a free space. We want to be a space where people can have the free exchange of ideas. I don't know what she did. I don't know what pushed them to the point that they decided to go back on that, but she's gone. And she'll be fine. She'll go out and start her own network. She'll get on someone and make more, whatever the case may be. She's going to be bigger than the Daily Wire, I promise you. I just find it a little weird. By the way, they need a token black person now. So any of you black people out there that want your own show, hit up the Daily Wire, because right now it's just a bunch of white dudes and a Jew. So they can't play the hey, we're not racist card. So they need somebody. Maybe P. Diddy needs a job. But so I don't know what it is. Again, I'm trying to... this is a lot of infighting drama. It feels like we're being intentionally distracted, divided, and conquered, But nonetheless, Candace Owens made some enemies due to her criticisms of Israel. One of her enemies comes in the form of Rabbi Shmuley. Rabbi Shmuley is the most famous rabbi in the country. That's what his Wikipedia says, the bastion of infinite knowledge. Rabbi Shmuley. Rabbi Shmuley for, I'm going to try to pronounce this right, Purim. It's a Jewish holiday where they dress up and they drink and they party. Posted a video where he was dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Candace Owens' idea of a Jewish person. And he's holding his granddaughter, and here's the video. Go ahead and look. This is a stable person here.
Hi, everybody. Purim is a day of celebration. We feel bad for Candace Owens that she lost her job. So I figure, with her image of what Jews are supposed to look like, why not at least validate her? I am dressed up as a Candace Owens Jew. Now, this is not a Christian child, this is a Jewish child. But if it would be, I got my Christian blood. Spicy, delicious. I got my Jewish nose. I have filth, because Jews are all filth. And more than anything else, what does 80 have? Money! Yeah, we Jews are all about money!
All about the Benjamins.
Wait, one second, wait. All about the Benjamins. Wait, I'm getting a little bit thirsty. Where's the matzah? I don't want to finish the whole thing and not mix it into the matzah. So can someone just bring me... She did say that I was getting... She liked that tweet that I'm getting drunk on Christian blood. So let's do it right. Oh, so good. So, so good. V'nafuchu, poor day, but our enemies fall, my brothers and sisters. This is the way they want us to look. I'll do it for one night. I'll indulge them. If it floats their boat,
Where's
why
your
not?
horns? Where's
Oh,
your
my
horns?
horn. They're covered by my yarmulke. Okay, happy Purim, everybody.
Now, that's a stable and rational individual, right? That looks like someone who's sane. He posted close to a dozen videos within about an hour of each other, several hours of each other, where he is drunkenly yelling into the camera, calling out Candace Owens over and over again, calling out Alex Jones, just random people that he's bashing. But this is probably the most disturbing one next here, this dancing video here. Yeah, it's right underneath it. There you go. Play this video. This is a little disturbing. Okay, side note, I thought Jews were supposed to be rich. That looks like every white trash backyard wedding I've ever been to. The beginning of that video was the disturbing part, where he's twerking on his grandson, giving him a lap dance. I think that's a little creepy. Do you think that's a little creepy?
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
So Rabbi Shmuley runs in Israel a sex toy business where they sell kosher sex toys and other oils, and which is fine. His argument is that he helped, and he's written multiple books on sex. His argument, though, is that he's helped a bunch of people and not get divorced and not push families through divorce court by spicing up the bedroom. Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. If you want to do your thing with sex toys, go off, man. What you do in your bedroom isn't my business. Here's where the sex toy thing gets weird. Do you want to know who his business partner is in his sex toy store?
His wife?
Close.
His daughter.
Yup.
You're kidding me.
I'm Magic Johnson positive. His daughter. He sells dildos and lube with his adult daughter. Now, I don't have a problem with families saying, hey, let's go into business together. And I don't have a problem with the concept of a sex toy store. But when you combine those two things, that's when I get a little creeped out about it. It's a little weird to me. Could you imagine those business meetings? You're like, well, he calls his daughter up. He's like, hey, we got some new merchandise we got to sample. How does that go? How do you talk about anal penetration with your daughter? And the most effective ways, the most effective lubes. I mean, you couldn't possibly talk about your experience with your own products and not make it weird. Well, Shmuley's rants on Twitter didn't go unnoticed. They caught the attention of Alex Jones. Alex Jones saw himself getting called out, and he replied. Go ahead, pull that up and read what he said. Just read what Alex Jones said.
You have clearly had a nervous breakdown. You go around starting fights, will people, and then flip out when they respond. For the sake of your family, seek help.
You know it's bad when Alex Jones is the voice of reason. When Alex Jones chimes in, he's like, hey, man, you need to probably see somebody about this. Like, it's like when the Taliban encouraged the trans community to turn the temperature down. Well, Shmuley decided to go on Alex Jones' show and hash it out. Much like Mr. Montoya, we'd like you to come on here and hash it out with me. And it went about the way you would have thought. It was probably... I'm not kidding. We're going to play some clips from it here. It was probably the most rational, reasonable discussion between two professional adults that I have ever seen in my entire life. Go ahead and play the first video for him.
Listen, I do believe you sell butt plugs. And you go, you're the one talking about disgusting butt plugs. You're the one that shot a video
We need a butt plug
showing
counter.
a witch's nose saying it's my penis and putting it out to millions of people. You're the one that sells butt plugs, and then I'm disgusting to ask about the butt plugs? Here, I'll give you more time. Tell me.
I couldn't care less what a husband and wife do together, whether they feel they need novelty items. I don't know why you're alighting on that. It's my daughter's company. I'm very proud of her. Any husband and wife who want to use novelty items, many don't want to. Any husband and wife that do what they need to keep the fire and passion alive in their marriages so that we avoid divorce, because I'm a child of divorce. Your children are children of divorce. Maybe you could have avoided that had you not had such a disgusting, rancid view of sex. Porn is gross. Adultery is gross. The Bible says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. And you know what that means, Alex Jones? That you should be coveting your own wife. And that's what I teach people to do. I have saved thousands of marriages from the divorce courts, from children being involved in custody battles like your kids were.
We're going back and forth. You got 4 minutes.
Of marriages.
You got 4 minutes. I could have gone for 4 minutes.
With your,
We're going back and forth now.
Disgusting obsession with butt plugs. God almighty, is that really what's on your mind, butt plugs?
You're the one on TV talking about my penis to 5 million people.
I love this. Play the second video.
Plugs.
You're the one on TV talking about my penis to 5 million people.
No. I said that when you degraded Michelle Obama by saying that she had a bulge, I said, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Stop degrading women. It's misogyny. It's what you don't like Michelle Obama's policy's fine, but you believe she's a man, honestly?
Well, Joan Rivers thought that, but we're about to go to break. Stay right there.
Do you believe she's a man? Do you believe that Michelle Obama's a man?
No, I just believe that she's got...
Why don't you apologize to her right here and now?
I believe she has bigger shoulders than an NFL linebacker.
But just apologize to her for your disgusting racism and misogyny.
Oh, I need to apologize and be sad? No, I think she is a man.
You have to apologize
and I think Macron's pedophile wife is a pedophile. I think the president of France's wife is a pedophile on record when he was 14. It's on record. Oh, so you're for teachers?
But is she a man? Is she a man?
Are you
like
for...
Candace
yes,
Owens said,
I think she looks like a man. I'm going to ask you, 14-year-olds, is it okay for a teacher to have sex with 14-year-old students?
You know what? That is a very fair question. It's a completely different question saying that she is a man. I asked you something different. Candace Owens did not bring up whether she was having sex with a juvenile. Candace Owens said that she is a man. I'm asking you, and Candace Owens said, I will leave my show and give up my professional reputation if I'm proved wrong. I'm asking you, Alex Jones, is Brigitte Macron a man?
I think she's not just a man. He's a pedophile and he's ugly. He's got a big old Adam's apple. And I believe the president of France's wife is a disgusting pedophile.
So this conversation obviously went well, right? Everyone was reasonable. Everyone was civil. It didn't go off the rails at all. I mean, it's seriously, that's like it was an hour and a half long interview. That's like the immovable object versus the unstoppable force. We got one more video. Alex gave him a send off. He wanted to say bye to him and thank him for coming on his show and let him promote all the books he's written. And this is how it went.
The left wants to arrest conservatives. They want to put Trump in prison. All right, Rabbi, thank you so much. I don't want to keep our guest host too long. I appreciate it.
Can I promote my 2 books? You promoted a lot of your powders, man.
I love butt plugs for pedophiles.
No, you know, I told you I'm giving those to you for free because you seem to really need it. So that's a gift. You don't have to plug that. It's coming. Just
will
give
you
me your
help
address.
me fit my butt plug?
However, you know.
Are you Rabbi Butt Plug?
Whatever floats your boat, Alex Jones. It seems that you're jealous of my sex life very deeply, and I don't want you to be jealous. I want to, you know, it seems that your skills in that area may be a little
You're
bit
right.
lacking.
You're right. I'm not as I'm not as good as doing lap dances with my grandchildren.
I want to promote.
I just wanted to share those with all of you because I've been laughing at them all day. Are you Rabbi Butt Plug?
Rabbi Butt Plug?
I don't know why he thought he had to know going on the Alex Jones show that nothing constructive was going to be discussed in that hour and a half segment. Nothing. It was going to be a shouting match. Alex Jones yelling about butt plugs. Do you have comments on this?
No.
No.
That just stressed me out.
Why? The screaming?
Yes.
You get that last one. Alex broke his brain. He sounded like a scratched up CD right there. Alex was getting under his skin with the butt plug comments. You could tell. You've got to know deep down it's creepy to sell sex toys with your daughter. You've got to know. And if you don't know, that's even weirder. This whole thing, I don't know. Yeah, so Candace Owens is out. She's had beef with Rabbi Shmuley. We'll keep you guys up to date on whatever comes up with her. Or maybe we won't, because I really don't care all that much. I've never listened to her show in the past. I'm not a Daily Wire fan, so piss off. All right, next up, the Congress at 2 o'clock in the morning passed a $1.2 trillion spending bill. And this is what they were freaking out. They were saying, hey, we got to pass this bill. Otherwise, the government's going to shut down because we have to fund our most essential services. And they passed it. Don Bacon voted yes, mind you. Those of you that are local and listening to this show, trying to keep up to date. Not sure who you want to vote for in the District 2 primary for the Republican Party here. Don Bacon voted yes on it. Here's some of what this money got spent on. Mia, what do you think they spent the money on for the $1.2 trillion spending bill?
Ukraine.
Well, that goes without saying. Of course, Ukraine. So $500 million to Ukraine. Only 500. Ukraine got screwed here. Only 500 million. What a ripoff, right? But they funded things like hospitals and defense and police and making sure old people were taken care of. I'm kidding. Let's go down the list of what they spent their money on. All right, here we go. $15 million. What do you think they spent $15 million on? Let us know in the comments on Rumble. Mia, hit me with a drum roll. Hit me with a drum roll sound effect up there. $15 million to pay for Egyptian college tuition.
What?
15 milli for Egyptians' college tuition funds. Now, I'm not one that thinks we should make college free here, but I could justify 15 million toward American tuition before Egyptian. All right, next one. Hit me with another drum roll. Let's do it. Here's what you won, American taxpayers. You won $850,000 for an all-gay senior living facility in the state of Massachusetts.
You are gay.
All right, give me another one here. Another drum roll. $500,000 for an anti-racist nature appreciation program at the zoo.
What zoo?
It doesn't say. I'll have to look into it here. It doesn't say.
Anti-nature racist.
Anti-racist nature appreciation group.
What is that?
I don't know, but it's getting $400,000 or $500,000. All right. Hit him with another drum roll. Here's what we got. There's more. $400,000 to a nonprofit group that gives clothes to teenagers to help them hide their gender. Clothes to teenagers would have been cool. Helping homeless kids. But no, this is specifically to hide their gender. Here we go. You ready for another one? Hit me with another drum roll here. $400,000 for an LGBTQ BLT 4K HD TV exclamation point DMX plus NWA activist group to teach elementary school age kids about the joys of being transgender. And that's what your that's just part of what your funding bill that your good buddy Don Bacon and many other Republicans in the House and Senate voted to pass at 2:30 in the morning. Now, mind you, this bill had thousands and thousands of pages on it. They gave them a couple days to vote on it and said, we absolutely have to get this passed at 2:30 in the morning. Do you think, would you wager to say that maybe the people that voted yes on this $1.2 trillion spending bill didn't know what all was inside of it? Would you say that's a safe bet?
I think that's probably a safe
It's a safe bet.
Especially if they only had a couple days to look over everything.
Yeah. 1.2 trillion. They just had to vote for it. They had to get it passed. That's the problem. No, here's what these congressmen need to start growing a pair of nuts and saying. They need to start going, listen, shut the fucking government down. We're not going to vote on this bill until everyone here has read it. And if you all don't want to go home and read it, cool, I'm a filibuster and read it right here. And we can vote on each item in this bill. Because that's what they do, is they sneak crap like that in, and they sneak horrific other violations of your civil liberties in, like red flag laws. They sneak these things in. By the way, a red flag center popped up right after that bill got passed. The Department of Justice announced that. Guarantee you that was part of it. They'll pass these gross violations of your civil liberties. They'll pass these horrific spending bills for garbage like that. And they'll sneak it in there. Usually it gives kickbacks to somebody that these politicians know, and it's a big thank you, and they're whatever. That's the problem with these bills. It's time for these congressmen and women in Washington to start going, you know what? No, shut the government down. I'm calling your bluff. We're not voting for this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine if Ukraine doesn't get their weekly $10 million. They'll be okay. Shut it down. Shut it down until we figure out what the hell's in this bill and what we actually want to vote on and spend our money on. Because I don't know about you, but it feels like a little bit of a waste. We have crumbling infrastructure. We have a border that's wide open, and you're spending money on anti-racist zoos. That feels like a bad allocation of those funds. I could be wrong. All right, next up. It's time to be critical of the right. Caleb criticizes the right. We're going to start making that a new segment. So I like to hold the mirror up to people on my own side and say, hey, this is how we're fucking up. Donald Trump has teamed up with a new advertising program. Go ahead, check this out.
I'm proud to be partnering with my very good friend Lee Greenwood, who doesn't love his song, God Bless the USA, in connection with promoting the God Bless the USA Bible. This Bible is the King James Version and also includes our founding father documents, yes, the Constitution, which I'm fighting for every single day, very hard, to keep Americans protected. Also, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, and the Pledge of Allegiance are all part of this God Bless the USA Bible, and it's just very important and very important to me. I want to have a lot of people have it. You have to have it for your heart, for your soul.
He refuses to use a script.
Many of you have never read them and don't know the liberties and rights you have as Americans and how you are being threatened to lose those rights. It's happening all the time. It's a very sad thing that's going on in our country, but we're going to get it turned around. Religion and Christianity are the biggest things missing from this country, and I truly believe that we need to bring them back, and we have to bring them back fast. I think it's one of the biggest problems we have. That's why our country is going haywire. We've lost religion in our country. All Americans need a Bible in their home, and I have many. It's my favorite book. It's a lot of people's favorite book. This Bible is a reminder that the biggest thing we have to bring back America and to make America great again is our religion. Religion is so important. It's so missing, but it's going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, just like our country is going to come back strong. In the end, we do not answer to bureaucrats in Washington. We answer to God in heaven. Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God. We love God, and we have to protect anything that is pro-God. We must defend God in the public square and not allow the media or the left-wing groups to silence, censor, or discriminate against us. We have to bring Christianity back into our lives and back into what will be again a great nation. Our founding fathers did a tremendous thing when they built America on Judeo-Christian values. Now that foundation is under attack perhaps as never before. What can we do? Stand up, speak out, and pray that God will bless America again. I'm proud to endorse and encourage you to get this Bible. We must make America pray again. Pray, get educated, get motivated, and stand with me and the legions of Americans asking God to bless our great nation, to bring our great nation back, and to make America great again. I'm proud to partner with Lee in this offering. He's a very special man, both as a talent, but maybe even more so as a human being. He's very, very special. And I think you all should get a copy of God Bless.
Okay, so I can't be the only one who finds it a little off-putting that he's out slinging Bibles. That he signed a brand marketing deal to sell. But I don't know. I have a weird soft spot for that. The whole thing, anytime I see someone clearly trying to make significant profits off the Bible, I feel a little odd, a little put back by it. It feels a little like a little bit like idolatry. I don't know. Could be wrong. But here's a poll that this reminded me of. There's a screenshot if you want to scroll down. There's a poll from Ohio, from the Ohio primary. They asked, Ohio's next senator supporting Donald Trump is very important, somewhat important, not too important, or not at all important. 70% of Republicans in the state of Ohio said that it was that it was at least somewhat important for them that the next Senate nominee was a Trump supporter. Now, I get it. You want to have party unity and everything. I'm just worried that we are, and again, I have no problem voting for this. Admitting I voted for Trump in 2020. I have no problem doing it again this year. But my concern here is that we are going very quickly off the cliff, if we're not already there, into the cult of Trump. We don't want to be a cult of personality that's based around one guy, where one guy picks all the winners and losers, and we all just have to bend the knee and kiss the ring to him. I don't think that's a good idea, because then we're no different from the Democrats, right? The Democrats all have that same, everyone has to stand in line and recite the exact same talking points, and don't you dare have opinion that's somewhat different from the mainstream, or we'll kick you out the same way we did Tulsi Gabbard. That's the Democrats, but right now we're doing we're doing something similar, but instead of with talking points and ideologies and a purity test, we're doing it with allegiance to one guy. And what's hilarious is I know some of you right now are typing angry hate comments in and telling me you're never going to listen to my show again, and you don't realize the fucking irony of that, because you're proving my point. I'm not going to listen to your show because you said too many of us are following this guy like a cult leader. Think about what you just said there. Before you turn my show off and throw your phone across the room in a fit of rage, think about why you're upset and how it proves what I'm saying. Think about that. Just for 2 seconds. Think about it. All right, that's enough for Caleb criticizes the right. Okay. All right, next up here, Joe Biden. Plenty to criticize with Biden here. Joe Biden decided he needed to stimulate the housing market because it is dying. So he came up with a brilliant plan to get people to sell their starter homes. If you're on your first home, I'll just read his tweet. For homeowners looking for a new place but worried about giving up their lower mortgage rate, I'm proposing a $10,000 tax credit if you sell your starter home. That means more folks can get into houses that suit their needs, unlocking affordable homes for first-time buyers. Let's think about that for a second. Let's use some logic here. How big of a retard do you have to be to sell your house that's locked in at a 3% interest rate and move into a house with an 8% interest rate that's going to cost you probably a couple $100,000 more down the line, so you can get a one-time $10,000 tax credit? You've got to be the biggest idiot in the world to think that's a good deal. Only an idiot would fall for this, just like only an idiot would vote for Joe Biden in 2024. And that's what they're depending on, is you being stupid as hell. Okay, what do we got next here? What do we have next? Oh, this is the Utah women's basketball. This is some wild shit here. So the Utah women's basketball team allegedly faced harassment and racist remarks made during their NCAA tournament visit to northern Idaho. What do you know about northern Idaho?
Are they Mormons?
No, that's more like southern and central Idaho.
Oh, then I don't know.
Northern Idaho is where there are... So Idaho as a whole actually has the highest percentage of neo-Nazi groups in the country. Most of them are in northern Idaho. So normally I don't believe the boy who cried racist stories, but when I hear they're up in northern Idaho and I hear stuff about racial slurs, that doesn't surprise me in the least bit. That's here's what it says here. The Utah women's basketball team said they were subjected to repeated racist harassment while staying in Idaho for an NCAA tournament in Washington, an incident the team's coach said has tainted the players' experience. The University of Utah team traveled to Spokane, Washington for the competition last week due to another sporting event in the city, leading to high demand for accommodation. Several teams stayed in the hotels in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, approximately 30 miles from Spokane. What about it?
I just know a hospital that's there.
Oh, okay. That's okay. You stayed there, or what's going on? The Utah players said, very random. The Utah, well, they're probably run by Nazis. Instead of like a helipad, they have a swastika up there for the helicopter to land on.
Maybe.
Utah players said the first incident happened while they were walking to a restaurant for dinner. Someone in a truck with a Confederate flag yelled racist slurs, including the N-word. We were just all in shock, and we looked at each other like, did we just hear that? Everybody was in shock. Our cheerleaders, our students that were there. Okay. How many black people go to Utah?
That's what I was thinking.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to sound insensitive to. Well, honestly, I believe this in northern Idaho. I truly do. In CDL, but how many black people could they possibly have at Utah? That's like... I was watching the BYU game, and they had black players on their team. I didn't know there were black Mormons. I didn't know it was allowed.
Yes, there are black Mormons.
So I actually had a guy who's a former Mormon once tell me, he's a comic. He said, did you know that Brigham Young had like hundreds of kids, but he only raised about 50? Only raised about 50. Hundreds of kids, but he only raised about 50 of them. And I was like, no, I had no idea about that, but I think it's very progressive that you guys would base your religion off a black man. He thought that was pretty funny. Crushed with the ex-Mormon crowd there. Am I missing anything? Oh, okay, here we'll what else we got here? We'll scroll down. Oh no, that's right. So we got two more things here. So Florida, the state of Florida has passed a social media ban for children under the age of 14, was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis. Here's my problem with this. I usually agree with what Ron DeSantis does, but I feel like this is the government overstepping its bounds. We talk about how there's a line where the state needs to step in terms of how you parent your kids. I don't think whether or not they can have Facebook is across that line. I mean, at some point, you do have to let parents be parents. I know we want to help, and I know there's parents that aren't good parents, but we got to let parents make the choices they think are right for their families. And I made my opinion clear on the last show, how I feel about, or on the Monday show, about how I feel about kids and smartphones and social media. But that's a decision that needs to be made in the house, in the family unit, right? Not at the state capitol building, certainly not at the federal capitol building. It's, again, we're going down the slippery slope of what else are we going to allow them to control? Because if you're going to set the precedent that kids under 14 can't look at social media, well, what happens when power changes hands? And that could very well happen in Florida. It's more of a red state than it's ever been, but it's not all that red, right? So what's going to happen when power changes hands? And they say, hey, kids under 14, you can't view anything online that we determine to be hate speech, and we're going to go through all these crazy identification processes to make sure you're over 14 if you're trying to get on any website that we here at the state of Florida have determined to be hate speech. What's hate speech? Anything to the right of Stalin. When you set a precedent, you got to ask, how's it going to be used against me? There you go. And when they set these, and you're seeing this, when they set these identification rules up for websites, which I don't have a problem when they do it with porn sites, but when they set these identification rules up for websites, it becomes such a hassle and such an expensive pain in the ass and such a compliance risk for these sites that they'll just stop operating in the state. So you could very well see a backdoor ban, you could very well see this bill used to set a precedent for a backdoor ban for any type of conservative or alternative media in the state of Florida in the coming years. You just got to be careful when you do this shit. Okay. All right, this last one here. There is a little bit of a squatter problem in the United States. I think we got the video. Scroll down. Yeah, play this video right here. This is a newscast of a woman that she had some squatters in her house, and she got rid of them, and, well, she got in trouble. Go ahead.
You're trying to steal my house. Yes, you are.
How about that? A squatter standoff. A property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into her $1 million home in Queens, and our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
Several people were taken away in handcuffs, and one of those arrested may surprise you.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth joins us now with more on what happened. Tell us, Dan.
Well, this is a very big growing problem. I received dozens of tips from viewers about this in just the past week. I went to do what I thought was going to be a routine interview. Instead, we capture what police and property owners are dealing with on a daily basis.
I have video of you. Who are these people? Figure out the situation. Yeah, but they're in my house, man. Relax. No.
To understand how this day ended,
We need the police right away.
with multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning. Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name? We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it.
No, he locked it.
But she's been locked out. She claims squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave. What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up. What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here? She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found two men. How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs.
They got one out.
And escorted the other guy off the property. Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And that's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing? Minutes later, a locksmith showed up. But police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed.
That's not going on.
The man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house.
Shoot him!
Call the police again.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door, broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house. No, he did not. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. And so did you. You broke through the front door. Officer.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. You need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police. If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules.
You're a
to it.
scumbag.
As you gotta
That's
go to
how it
court and
works.
send me to civil
You
court.
should be
Says
killed.
he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Proof. Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it. He didn't show me a lease. This is a bill. A bill for work he says he had done to the house.
He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested
For what?
for being in my own home.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed is current and legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there. So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
It's
That's enough.
not that simple. It's a long process. Evictions can take close to 2 years to complete.
So, how insane is there a law in this country more insane than so-called squatters' rights? Is there a law more? I want to make this clear. As a squatter, your right should be get the hell out of my house now, or I have the right to shoot you. And that's that. That's that. We have coddled criminals for far too long. We've made it far too easy to be a criminal in this country. And these are far left policies that aren't done by accident. Some of these people are the do-gooder, useful idiots that think they're just helping the homeless and the less fortunate and blah, blah, blah. But the majority of these people put these laws into place because they are intentionally destroying this country, because that's what communists and Marxists do, is everything they touch turns to shit so they can rebuild it in their even shittier worldview. It's completely batshit crazy that someone can walk into your house and just decide, while you're not there, and just decide they're the owner now. And if you try to do anything, they can evict you. I'm going to tell you right now, if I came home to somebody in my house, in my property, that was claiming they lived there, we're not getting to the point where I call the police. I'm just going to shoot you. You're just going bye-bye. And I'll call the police and say, hey, can you come scrape what's left of the home invader off the kitchen floor, please? And that's all we're going to do. Can you believe that? Isn't that the craziest thing?
My favorite part was when he was like, when the news reporter was like, can you show me the lease?
And it was a bill.
And then he was in the background. He was like, he did not show me the lease.
It's batshit crazy what some of these laws are like, but it's about destroying the country. It's about, like they say, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. It's about stealing property, because that's what communists do, is they steal property from people. They don't want anyone to own any type of property other than the state, right? It's this big communal bullshit where we all share everything. That's what they're doing. That's 100% what this is about. If you don't, you can believe whatever you want, but that's the fact of the matter, is this is the pathway to communism. We are on the fast track to it right now. We are on the fast track to these people ripping our country apart. Here's a video of an illegal immigrant that's gone viral on TikTok explaining to other illegal immigrants how the squatter laws in this country work and how you can abuse them so they can't remove you. Go ahead, look at this.
Mi gente, he pensado invadir una casa en United States, ya que me enteré que existe una ley que dice que si una casa no está habitada, podemos expropiarla. Capichi, muchachos, aquí en United States también se aplica la de invasión de terreno. Y creo
He calls it the
que
land
ese
invasion.
será mi próximo negocio.
Saying it ain't a joke.
Invadir casas abandonadas, ya que me he buscado unos códigos con mis amigos africanos y me dijeron que ya llevan como 7 casas expropiadas. Y como dice el dicho, papi, hay que buscar la vuelta. Y la vuelta ahorita mismo es invadir casas. Ya
All right, that's
que
enough.
nos encontramos en situación de...
So there you have it. For those of you that are listening on audio, which is probably most of you, that's an illegal migrant that's viral. He's a TikTok star. He's got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And he's gone viral for telling migrants, illegals, let's call them what they are. He's gone viral for telling other illegals to take over people's houses so they can't be evicted and they can milk the system. I don't know what more proof you need. He called it a land invasion himself. That's not racist doublespeak, right? He called it a land invasion himself. That's not a right-wing conspiracy anymore when they're outright saying it and bragging about it on social media. This is this squatter thing, hopefully, I think a lot of red states are going to start nipping it in the bud. Ron DeSantis, actually, just good DeSantis, he signed a bill recently that basically abolished squatters' rights in the state of Florida. I think more red states need to follow suit on this. You should not be able to take someone's home over and kick them out while they still have to pay the bill, and you can just live there for free. That's not how that should work. There's a Simpsons episode about it where the squatters come and just take over their house and kick them out. It's a parody, but parody reflects reality. That actually happens. We just saw in that video of that woman. I mean, again, I don't know how it gets to that point because, I mean, if you take over my house, we're not even getting to the point the police are involved. I'm just going to shoot you. And they can come, again, I'll have my day in court and they'll come clean up what's left of you off the floor. But the fact that squatters have so-called rights, Mia and I actually almost at one point wound up homeless because of a squatter. Remember that? It affects more than just the landlord that you communists claim to hate so much. We had a situation, I think the statute's up on this, I can talk about it. We had a situation where we were moving out of an apartment into a different one, and the girl that lived there in the new one was refusing to vacate. I don't know what her reasoning was, it didn't matter. She was refusing to vacate the apartment. And remember, this is a parody show. This didn't actually happen. But she was refusing to vacate the apartment. And she had squatters' rights for 30 days before they could even take her to court. And it was going to be a whole... And like we were looking like, oh my God, we're going to have to go couch surfing with people. Because we have nowhere else to go. So this is in the dead of summer. And I, again, politically... Not literally, I politically called the power company and said, hey, I'm moving into this place in 2 days. I just want to make sure the power's shut off so that the other person that's living there isn't going to get billed for what we're going to get, right? So in the middle of summer, when it was 100 degrees out, they politically cut her power off so she couldn't have air conditioning. And lo and behold, she was out the next day. I don't know how it worked. But
didn't you do something with her internet?
Yeah, I got her internet yanked too. Politically yanked. They politically took down her internet.
We were supposed to technically be living there at that time.
Yeah, we were supposed to be there. And, so what that does is if I wasn't so politically savvy and didn't do all those things politically, remember this is a joke, I didn't do any of those things. But if I didn't do all those things politically, what would have wound up happening is we would have had to stay in our old apartment. And then I had already talked to our landlord at the time, who told me that someone had already moved or had already signed the lease on our old apartment. So then it would have created a domino. So that squatter refusing to vacate the premises at the time she legally agreed to do it would create the domino effect of us having to refuse because we didn't really have anywhere to go. I mean, we could have went with family. It would have been miserable, though. Miserable. Right? I mean, literally the only feasible place we could have went to live. No. 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 So then that person, wherever they're moving from, hopefully it's some kid moving out of his parents' house, because if he's moving apartments or houses or whatever, guess what? Now that guy's going to violate his lease and overstay, and it just creates this domino effect, and there's way more victims than just the landlord here. Even though the landlord's really the only victim you need, because you shouldn't steal other people's shit. But that's what communists do, because they have no value for anything. Because they're a bunch of hapless, fucking retarded losers that can't get laid and don't know how to talk to girls, so they take other shit from other people. I just threw in the can't get laid part. That didn't really have anything to do with it. But they're weak, frail soy boy bitches that have never had any sorts of power in their life. They've never had a decent job that pays more than minimum wage. They're fuck-ups. So because they can't accomplish anything in their lives, they have to take from other people. And that's what you get is communism in a country that's crumbling apart at the seams. That's been our show. We'll see you Monday for Unsolicited Advice. I've been your host, Caleb Salvatore. As always, Mia, hit him with that sound effect that we added this week one more time.
Rabbi butt plug.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you on Monday for Unsolicited Advice. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. And as always, stay based politically.